Satnam, Namaste. Welcome to I'm Woke. I'm your host, Emelina Calder. Today I'm gonna jump into a video where I go through how to stop feeling alone and start feeling connected. If you're new, welcome. My name is Emelina. I'm a high performance life and business coach, personal branding and digital marketing coach, a cosmic shaman, and a spiritual mentor for personal brands, creatives, and entrepreneurs. The type of content you can expect to find on my channel is going to be lots of energy updates for each month, the new moons and full moons that I channel from the Akashic records, as well as some deep dive personal and spiritual development, wisdom, and real life experience to help you create yourself into the next level version of yourself and to create a life where you feel like you're on purpose, you're fulfilled, you feel creative, you have beautiful relationships, you feel like you belong, and you're creating yourself into a whole, complete human. If that sounds like you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, tap the bell for notifications so you don't miss any videos or energy updates. Also remember to hit that like button below, and I'd love to hear in the comments how you facilitate and give yourself your own sense of belonging, any skills you've developed along the way. That might be really great for other people to hear. As you share your experience, we all learn from each other, and if I could be very straightforward and honest, we are all just walking each other home. If you missed the first video in this series, it's called Letting Go of an Abandonment Wound. Part 1. Click the card to watch the video or catch the link in the description below. Now, if you want to strengthen your own source connection, your own connection to your creativity, your own connection to your heart, your personal Kundalini energy, I have a free guided meditation that I'm going to link in the description below so that you can strengthen your own personal sense of belonging and deeply feel your own connection to source. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. How to stop feeling alone and start feeling connected. This is a recovery rehabilitation process. It's like training a rescue dog. This is how I like to think about it. I think about myself as a rescue dog. I think about my heart like I am rescuing a puppy, and then I'm rehabilitating my heart the way that I would if I had just adopted a puppy or adopted a dog that came from difficult circumstances, but I want to love. There would be a process of training, like, hey, you're safe. Training, hey, I love you. Training, hey, your needs are gonna be met. Training, hey, I'm gonna feed you at the right times. Training, hey, we're gonna play, we're gonna go for walks. Like if you were rehabilitating a dog, that's what you would do. Well, you know, most of us need our hearts rehabilitated, and it's really not a dissimilar process. The key to not feeling alone and the key to feeling connected is through experiencing your own most vulnerable moments, allowing that deep vulnerability, and training yourself in those moments that you're not alone. How do you do this? The first thing is realizing when you feel alone to sit with yourself and realize you're not alone, you are with yourself. Invite your higher power in, invite your higher self in, invite source into the conversation and realize not only are you not alone, you are with you, you're holding space for you. Source is holding space for you. So now you're being held by two different sources, you and source, right? Then from that place, you can create another sacred invitation where you are inviting more sources of support into your heart space, into connection, so that you can feel even less alone. And it will become very clear and obvious the more that you do this for yourself. Abandonment is not just an external, outside of you issue. There's also self-abandonment. So I like to cover this in two ways because it's really important to build consistency with yourself, showing yourself that you can hold space for yourself so that you are never abandoning yourself. And then from there, you can move into the invitation of bringing other people that are safe into your space so that you can then show yourself with consistency, action, and effort that you are also not abandoned by others. It's all about retraining your heart and your nervous system and your emotional capacity to know and to expect that you will always be there for yourself, God and Source will always be there for you, and other people will always be there for you as well, the right people. You train yourself to rely on the fact that you can do outreach. You can reach out to friends or family. Just make sure they're safe connections. Make sure you feel comfortable with this. Make sure that actually these people can be there for you emotionally, which you'll be able to prove to yourself over and over and over again as you use your own discernment to reach on the right people in a healthy way, asking them whether or not they're available to hold space for you in that moment. And it's okay if they're not as well. The point is that you're moving through the process of beginning to acclimate to having your needs met, asking for your needs to be met, and allowing people into your heart space when you feel vulnerable in a safe and healthy way. Again, the caveat of healthy and safe. For a whole nother topic for another video, but do not engage in toxic relationships. This is literally around safe people, safe relationships. People that you have trust with, people that you are building trust with. The key here is giving yourself every opportunity you possibly can to learn and to grow. It's okay to feel like you're bad at this. It's okay to feel like you're just growing. The point is growth. Failure is never engaging in it. Failure is staying the same and refusing to do anything about it. Accept growth as your success metric, not the specific outcome. But as long as you are working at it, as long as you are actively pursuing it, as long as you are growing, then you are successful. And then start to learn the language of the heart. The language of the heart speaks in sensation. So when you feel alone, what does that sensation feel like? And you can even whip out a journal and write for 60 seconds all the aspects of what that feels like. Does it feel squishy? Does it feel like your heart's being pushed up against a wall? Does it feel like pressure? Does it feel like depression? Does it feel like expansiveness and lots of space around it? Maybe too much space where you can't find your way? What does it feel like? Acknowledge the sensations, because then when you're not tapping into it later, and let's say you're out somewhere and you start to feel that pressure around your heart, you'll know, oh, I'm perceiving right now or feeling that I am alone. So how can I now tackle that and show myself, or even acknowledge, am I actually alone? Or why do I feel this, right? And kind of tap into it, settle into it. This is part of your retraining process. Here's the solution. 1, feel the pain. It's not going to be forever, and feeling the pain is healing. 2, identify and know and understand what the feeling feels like. What does the sensation specifically feel like in detail, so that you can acknowledge it and understand it in the future for yourself. This feeling, the sensation, will be different for every person. Nobody's gonna have the same feeling of love, or the same feeling of aloneness, or the same feeling of a specific type of pain. It will be completely different for every person. So it is up to you to explore your own sensation in your heart, to understand what that core vibrational, emotional frequency or signature is, that you can feel, understand, and intuit within yourself. And then 3, move into outreach. Go get the support you need. You're gonna wanna ask for consistent support, retrain yourself and retrain your heart to assume that you'll always be met with love and support, rather than having to isolate and feel alone. And that support can be met by therapists, by coaches, by mentors, by community, by fellowship, by friends, by family, depending on who's in your friend and family group, by your romantic partners, and the list goes on. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about my background and my story, so you understand where I'm coming from, in case this is helpful at all. I realized the way that I perceive myself moving, being, and acting in the world is as an orphan. And I wasn't really officially orphaned until later in my life. I was 22, but I did experience being orphaned from my family. And it was all really this was building from my childhood, but it really took place over one night. All of a sudden, my heart was like, we're an orphan. We have to deal with this now. Due to domestic abuse, growing up in an alcoholic home, losing my family overnight, and becoming homeless overnight when I was 22. And then that really stuck with me. And my abandonment wounds, they come from my early childhood development, as they do for most of us, like all of us. Way that I compensated for feeling that way in myself is I said, well, I'm not gonna make myself feel bad for it. So I'm gonna feel really great about being hyper independent. So the way that my abandonment shows up is through hyper independence. It is through some serious levels of overfunctioning to the point of burnout. And that's something I've had to deal with a lot in my life. Is okay, but what happens when you burn out? Because it's inevitable, because you can't keep up that level of high overfunctioning for really that long of a period without burning out. It's gonna happen. So my attitude around my abandonment issues have always been like, I'll handle it. Give me more, God. I can handle more. I can handle more than my fair share. I am a superhero for myself. I don't need anyone else. I can be totally avoidant in relationships because I can handle everything. Don't worry about attachment. I will just be completely detached. It's totally fine. So I'm saying this kind of as a joke because honestly, you guys, I got some comedy in my background too, because if you can't laugh about the shit you've been through, you will be crying all the time because life can be terrible if you cannot laugh at it. Laugh at it. Your girl here loves non-attachment. I am like so spiritual. I love that I'm making fun of myself right now, that I'm like, what? Humans? I don't need to attach to humans. This now is not my current story. I am a very securely attached person, but this is a version of myself that had been running like for a long time, was like, I don't need help. I don't need things. And that came from the place of having to overfunction in order to survive. That came from the place of my needs not being met and me not being able to have them met by other people. So I had to meet them myself. And I don't know why specifically I'm going into this detail, other than I think just sharing experience is helpful. And I know there are a certain percentage of you that will certainly resonate, that will be high performing overachievers that do everything and a million things that nobody thinks to check in on or offer support because you look like you can handle it. You look like you got it. You are strong AF. And I am one of those as well, which is why I can point this out. And my point here in this now moment in sharing this with you is that doesn't mean you can't ask for help. Just because you can do it, just because you are capable, just because you can overperform, doesn't mean you should. And a lot of my lessons around healing my abandonment wounds, my abandonment issues, have been in allowing people to support me when I know that I could do it myself. And choosing not to do it myself, choosing not to do it alone, choosing to do it with others, choosing to lean on others. And I don't just have one or two people around me. Because of the need, the core wounding that I have in my heart, because of that orphan complex that I have so affectionately have labeled within myself, I know that in myself, I therefore need a lot of external support because I can't replace those initial family bonds that were not there for me. So I have a lot of people that I reach into. I have a big network now of people that I allow to see me for who I am and all of the aspects of who I am that I'm constantly growing, because I know that I need that sort of support, and I'm constantly proactively building that emotional support for me because I know that it is a core need of mine, because just because I can do it all doesn't mean I should do it all. The human experience is a we experience. We are all walking each other home. We are not meant to do this alone. You know what I love to say to people is it's real easy to be conscious and aware and awakened and enlightened in a vacuum. The second you step into relationships, you're not so enlightened anymore. And the purpose of the human experience is to experience the human experience and bring your consciousness, bring your enlightenment into the experience of relationship with other people. If you are so hyper spiritual, that you are so enlightened, you are so meditated, you are so untriggered while you're with yourself, like that's great, but are you bringing it into your relationships? Isolating more doesn't make you more spiritual. It makes you spiritually bypassed. It makes you distanced from what it is to have a human experience. It makes you not totally real. It makes you not completely relatable. It makes you in an avoidance strategy. I say that with so much love because I have been there. I went there through the majority of my 20s. I started doing my personal development work when I was 20. I'm 36. We are looking at 16 years of rather intense spiritual and personal development work. And within that time period, I can for sure tell you that I had meditated myself into an awakened enlightened state that was not very human. And the second you step into any level of humanity, you see truly how enlightened you are and how much patience, kindness, compassion, love, and respect you can have first for yourself and then for others around you, how clearly you can state your needs, how patient you can be. Again, you guys, it's so easy to be enlightened on a mountaintop somewhere. It's not it's easy to be enlightened in isolation. The point is, can you be aware of who you are? Can you be totally self-accepting of who you are in every state available around all different sorts of humans and accept all of those parts of yourself that get triggered, that don't get triggered, other people that get triggered, how you handle things? Can you do it in a healthy way? And that enlightenment process never goes away. You never get it. There is no achievement. It doesn't go anywhere. It's never done. Because anytime you're walking into a new situation and a new aspect of humanity or a new relationship or an old relationship, like it's going to be re-triggered again over and over and over again. You get to see, what it is to be human. And that's why we're here. If you wanted to be spirit, you wouldn't be human, you'd be spirit. You want to have a human experience, and that's what this is for. So anyway, all of that to say, part of the human experience is dealing with abandonment. It's dealing with that sense of aloneness and then teaching and retraining yourself that you don't have to do it alone, you can do it together. And understanding what that together means for you and exploring that connection over and over and over again throughout your entire life. It's not like it's going to be healed in one moment and completely go away. You're not going to heal your abandonment wound forever and never deal with it again. You're going to be dealing with it throughout your life, because to be human is to experience both connection and separation and move between them in different periods of your life, in different aspects of your own awakening and consciousness, depending on what's going on around you, depending on what's going on within you, depending on the experiences you are encountering, and that's all okay. It's all beautiful. It's all perfect. So it's about getting into the space of learning what it feels like for you and then how to navigate it, and giving yourself the patience and the compassion and the self-acceptance for all aspects of that process of awakening. Being awake doesn't mean that you don't have to feel. It just means that you're aware of what it is that you're feeling. It just means that you're aware of how it is that you're moving through your experience of humanity. Anyway, if you loved this video, stay tuned. I'm going to be publishing some stress relief videos to move through the process of stress in the body and in the emotional body, to give you the tools to move into relief of stress as it comes up in all of the ways that it can. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to tap that like button, tap the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you don't miss any videos like this. When you're feeling that sensation of isolation, of aloneness, what do you do? What works for you? And if you don't know, I'd invite you to think about it for a minute and then leave a comment down below, because I think you guys will find the more comments that stack in, everyone will be helping everyone else, giving their own strategies, so that we're creating even a baby community down in the comments section, so people can start to realize, oh, that's like another way that I can create that feeling of connection within myself and others in my experience that maybe was different than I thought. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me in this video. If you love my vibe, I'm gonna leave some links in the description below on a number of ways that you can work with me. I have a couple of deep dive online programs, a private one-on-one mentorship program where I hold your hand through the process of transformation and high performance spiritual coaching. And I also published a meditation album called the I Am Success Meditations, which are 5.5 hours of guided activations and meditations that help you retrain your subtle energy body around your self-worth, your personal sense of confidence, your love, acceptance, and compassion for the self, helping you to retrain your heart to feel safe and stable in pursuing your desire, retraining your own Akashic Records wealth blueprint so that you can make money and have access to resource more easily. There are so many meditations in there that are really robust and beautiful that retrain your subconscious to be able to expect success in all of the different energetic ways that success comes. I hope you enjoyed this video. Love you guys so much. I will see you in the next video. Until next time, be blessed, be balanced, stay connected, give yourself lots of love and compassion. Peace.